What's going on, everybody? Rob here, Treps2323. I got like a gazillion projects going on around my house, and this is one thing that I've been wanting to do. People are like, "Oh man, you're so cheap." Is a pair of sweatpants, and the string to those sweatpants is no longer there. I had them for ages. So two things I want to do, of course, is my favorite sweatpants ripped at the bottom, so I'm just gonna sew this together. This is an easy stitch. Well, if you sew, you should know that. But then also what I wanted to do, instead of putting the tie string in here, I live in Chicago and I use these as actually long johns. I don't use them as sweatpants. So since the string broke on them and they're my long johns, I work outside. I don't want to have to, get the string and untie it. So I'm going to put some elastic in the back and have the elastic go in by maybe 2 to 3 inches. Therefore, I could go ahead and just, use it as regular pants. One thing I did want to show you was this. One of my friends, it's funny, his wife uses Stitch Witchery. I had no idea what the heck Stitch Witchery was. I was like, what kind of stitch is that? Thinking that it's one of the stitches on the sewing machine. Stitch Witchery is this right here. It's a fusible bonding web. It's like a tape that you put in the hem, fold it, and iron it, and that's how she does her husband's pants. So when her husband sees me sewing, he's like, "Dude, I got like 10 pants, can you sew?" I said, "Man, I got too much projects on my hand." I said, "This is just a hobby I do on the side that I picked up for myself because I grew up seeing my mom do it." So anyways, what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna go ahead and got one of these to take the little pieces of thread out. So I'm going to take out, this is 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3 in here, and I'm gonna take out maybe 5 inches of it, because I'll put maybe 5 inches in here. So I'm gonna take this out right here. It's gonna take me a while, but I am gonna take out all the thread from here. And then when I get all this down where I can flip this open, I'll turn you back on to show you where I'm at. Alright, so I use my little thread kind of cutter here, and I picked apart all the threads. Actually, I picked apart, I didn't do this top one yet. I'm going to see if I could go ahead and fit the elastic inside of here. And if I can't, then I'll go ahead and take apart the top one, but I cleaned it off. The top one, actually, I guess I did do over here. I didn't do over here. Well, what the heck? I'll go ahead and take out the top one, since the top one is just one string. What I did is I took apart 3 of them, like right here, to get my finger in to see how much was in there. And actually, let me see, move. There was one all the way at the bottom, one a little bit higher, and then one in the higher. So it took me about 5 minutes to get all those stitches out. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the top one here, and then I'll measure this right here. And what I'm going to do is sew it in on one side first before I seal all this up. Then you got to stretch it, over here to sew it in on the other side, so it can give you that elastic effect. Okay, I cut a piece of elastic just slightly shorter than what I opened up right here, and what I'm going to do is fit this in here. Hold on a minute. Okay, I don't even know where I left off, if I was hitting the right button or not. So what I did is I used my little thing to pull the stitches out, and I pulled out all the stitches all the way up. Okay, what I found out is there was still some string left under here from the ties. Apparently they were just broke off in there. So they were tied to the back of this, or sewn onto the back, so I had to take that out also. So this right here, I cut. If anybody knows me, I'm the king of wing. So I kind of winged it, I eyeballed it. And like I said, I'm going to stitch it on one side only, not the other side, because you can't stitch it flat like this. You got to crunch this up a little bit and then stitch the other end so the elastic part of it will work. So I'm kind of eyeballing where the center would be. And then I'm going to stitch one side of this right here. Let me see what's going to be the easiest side. Probably going to make a difference. So once I feel it where it's at, I kind of see where it's at, I'm going to stitch one side in right there. Okay, have this on reverse because I'm going to go back and forth with it. Alright, so that's going to hold it in place right there. I'm going to pull this out of it right here and then get some scissors to cut that. Okay, so you can see right there, I sewed that in there. right there. I'm gonna cut this a little bit more off, and then that's held in there really good. So then I'm probably gonna, what I'm gonna do is I'll probably scrunch this back. This is my first time doing it. I'm the king of wing here, so I'm gonna give myself a little room. See, if I pull it back like that, I'm creating a little extra space here. I'll probably create it with like 3 little ruffles in there, and then stitch on this other side right here. Okay, what I found out is I had to cut the elastic a lot shorter than what it was. Remember, it was right here? Because I had to actually pull it all the way to the end. It creates the little extra, so when you sew it, that's what's going to give you the elastic right there. So I had to cut the elastic a lot shorter, and then put it all the way to the end over here. Now I got to remember where that's going to be at, and then I'm going to sew that one in right there. Now when you're sewing across the top and the bottom, you got to make sure you don't hem that elastic, because that elastic needs to be able to stretch and not stretch. So since I'm pushing this all the way to the side right now, I'm going to sew that in right now. As long as I got it all the way further back. Alright, I had to reshoot that one. This is why I pull my thread so far back, because the thread actually came out the needle on that one. That's why I pull my thread so far back whenever I'm sewing. Let me get back over here to this right here. Like I said, I don't know if I caught it last time, so I'm going to say I had to cut the elastic. I had to cut the elastic way shorter. Way shorter. This way it gave me more room to pull. So this way, that's what gives you the elastic in the pants right there. So what I'm going to do is stretch this as far this way as I can, and then sew this one to hold right here. Gotta be kind of up in there, because when you sew the ends of it, you don't gotta sew the elastic, so you can still have that pulling whatever the pulling of the elastic. So I'm gonna put this on here, kind of find the end of it. Then I'm gonna sew this one right here. Okay. And that's what's going to hold the elastic in place. See? So the next thing I gotta do is make sure the elastic is not sewn when I sew this right here. Before I moved on, I don't know if you can see it right there. Let me see, try to find it. Before I moved on, go here. I put it in the zigzag motion, and I went over it 3 times with the zigzag. This way you know with that zigzag motion 3 times, it's not gonna come apart anytime soon. Now what I'm finding out is this is what's gonna be really hard. Trying to keep this stretched out as I'm hemming it. I'm gonna do the bottom one first and push this all the way to the top. But you gotta keep it stretched out and not sew the elastic. So this is going to be really, really hard. I don't even know if I'm going to get this in, be able to get this to go in reverse. So I'm going to put this in here. And one good thing is when you put your foot down, it's going to hold it in place. Well, not your foot down like that foot, but this foot right here. How about that? I'm going to go back to a straight line stitch. Pull these as tight as I can. And make sure that elastic is all the way up there. Okay, you think I can make that come back? Make sure you can see. Alright, let's try to get it to come backwards now. I don't know if I can because I gotta kind of stretch it, and I gotta stretch it and hold the reverse at the same time. So let's go ahead and see what we could do here. Wish there was a way that it would hold in place, that reverse. But let me try to hold this straight. Alright, now what I'm going to do is, since I got that in really good and the elastic's actually working really good. Let me measure a little bit first and then I'll go from there, see what I got to do next. Alright, bear with me here. Okay, let me come out back some. Okay, believe it or not, that's not too shabby. Look at the pants right there. They got the elastic going on. Alright, I didn't do anything across the top right here. And with the elastic sewn in at the bottom, I don't really know how much room I have here to kind of get a stitch in there. So for right now, I'm probably going to leave that. This is the triple stitch right here with the zigzag. This is triple stitch with the zigzag. That's not going out anywhere. Across the bottom right here, I just got a single line. So I'm going to put a zigzag across the bottom right here. And I took out stitching all the way to right here. So I'm probably going to go over right here with the stitching just because I took some out. You know, I actually, with the cutter, I cut all the way back in here. So I don't want this to actually just come undone. So I'm going to probably zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. And then across the bottom, zigzag. And then Bob's your uncle. But that right there is the elastic that I put in a pair of sweatpants. And it's not going anywhere. So like I said, I'm just going to finish up by doing one zigzag across the bottom. And then just going over a little bit what I did here. I do have a bottom thing to repair here. That's just a really simple one right here. You put this on the side and then you just go back and forth right there. Either way, men can sew too. This is just a little hobby I picked up watching my mom sew. So if you think you can do it or don't think you can do it, just watch some videos and you'll know how to do it and just give it a shot. All right, bye.